Still looking at me.
And what is up, Money Gang? It's your boy, the Multitasker, back with another requested video. This one is from Storm Shadow, and he wants me to react top 10 crazy rules WWE superstars are forced to follow. Just hearing that and just saying that is that what other rules that just flat out ridiculous, and it just makes your head want to go spin like a madman. I could guarantee you there are some rules that I vaguely remember on the previous video I did react not too long ago, but I guess this is where the curiosity is, where you have to see what other rules that they put as a policy. So I don't know what to expect, but we're just I have to find out exactly which makes it to the number one. Oh, also, before I begin, let me get the seriousness out of the way that today is September 11th, which is bestly known as 9/11, and I definitely want to take this a little opportunity. I wanted to send my prayers to the families of the victims that got involved and were taken away by the terrorist attack that hit the Twin Towers. The day that basically that time has just stopped, and witnessing the most horrific and destructive that the world has ever seen, and that was it was a complete shock, and it was just hard to see. But mostly, that's something that we can never forget, and that goes to show that it doesn't weaken us, it makes us stronger, and that you're not alone in this world, because we are in this together as one, and we must try our best to respect one another and bring the positivity to this world. So just want to give a little prayer, and hopefully I hope you guys are doing the same thing, just to give respect and pay the respect of the loss of what happened on that very day. So a moment of silence. Alright, thank you. Now, let's begin with this video. So, without further ado, it's time to react.
Wait, really? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 crazy rules WWE stars are forced to follow. For this list, we'll be ranking the oddest rules, both written and unwritten, to which WWE stars and employees are meant to adhere to. Some of these may be defunct or not as prominent as they were once before, but sports entertainment is a weird and wacky place, and it's even crazier when you work for Vince McMahon's House of Muscle. So let's get weird, shall we? Number 10, briefcase at the hip. Okay, so winning a WWE title can be a big deal, bringing with it an increased visibility on the roster and potentially a bigger pay increase. But do superstars have to wear those big gaudy belts everywhere they go? Well, not exactly, but winners of the Money in the Bank briefcase are expected to travel with their prize, which enables them to cash in for a WWE title opportunity, and that can prove to be one giant pain in the ass. Getting from town to town is a challenge in itself, never mind having to remember to pack an extra prop along the way, and losing the briefcase simply is not an option. Number 9, fringe benefits. We just mentioned the potential pay increases that come with being a WWE champion. However, there are other aspects to being a money player in the company that don't exactly, well, bring in extra money. Although contracts do vary from wrestler to wrestler, promotional appearances such as those on late-night talk shows are sometimes written into the performer's contracts as part of their job in promoting the brand. As such, these appearances aren't paid extras for them. other than having their hotel and accommodations comped, and is instead just another part of the job for Vince McMahon's sweaty traveling circus. Number 8. Get your own wheels. Today, most professional wrestlers aren't considered employees under the law, but rather independent contractors, and as such aren't covered for basic employee rights such as healthcare. Transportation is also not usually provided for the wrestlers to get from town to town, with all but the biggest main eventers like John Cena being required to rent their own cars and paying for these services out of the pocket. It's tough getting from town to town on an overnight drive, and the fact that all of the expenses are still coming out of the performers' pockets is just crazy to us. Number 7. Heels and babyfaces don't mix. Okay, so the impact of this unwritten rule has certainly been lessened over the years since the death of kayfabe, the code of silence that protected the hidden truths and inner workings of professional wrestling. Still, one need only take a glance at the WWE Network series Ride Along to see that heels and babyfaces still don't tend to travel together all that often. In the older days, this rule was meant to protect the good guy versus bad guy aesthetic of the business, but even today we see many of the same heel and face factions traveling together on the road, keeping at least a little bit of that old school kayfabe memory intact. Number 6. No ad-libbing in promos. The art of the pro wrestling promo is no longer the wide-open Wild West country it used to be back in the day. Performers were largely trusted with coming up with their own spiel to say on the mic before a match, with little, if any, editing done in the process. Superstars such as The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin made careers out of ad-libbed promos, but this is a huge no-no in the modern era. Instead, most wrestlers have their promos written ahead of time by WWE's creative team and are expected to deliver them line by line in front of the camera. Some superstars are allowed to offer their own input, but this sadly isn't used nearly as much as it was with their predecessors. Number 5, stick to the product. This next rule just sort of goes without saying. Today's wrestling climate is beginning to get more competitive than it has in years, with promotions such as AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling offering intriguing alternatives to the monopoly McMahon had previously enjoyed. As a result, WWE employees are expected not to visit events held by direct competition, although co-branding with collaborative companies such as Evolve Pro Wrestling seems to be okay. Essentially, it just wouldn't look good for a high-profile superstar to give their stamp of approval to another promotion. In the world of WWE, it's best to pretend these other companies don't exist, rather than to validate them via any attendance, even if it's just for surveillance purposes. Number 4, stay in your lane when you change. There has always been a sort of hierarchy when it comes to the WWE rosters, with many jobbers never rising above the lowest ranks of the totem pole, while other superstars just seemed destined to rocket up the card to main event status. The backstage locker room is a reflection of this hierarchy, with many of the lower level superstars sharing changing space in separate quarters, away from the private areas for big money superstars such as John Cena or The Undertaker. Furthermore, there have been stories of superstars such as that of The Miz, who was forced to find somewhere else to change early in his career after reportedly annoying Chris Benoit by eating chicken near Chris's gym bag. You can't make this stuff up. Number 3, words are important. This next rule is another that has been slightly softened in recent years as the public's appreciation of professional wrestling versus sports entertainment seems to shift further towards the former. Still, just a cursory glance at WWE's major network programming offers a clean glimpse into the world Vince McMahon is determined to promote, with very specific word choices. For starters, pronouns are a no-go, with WWE commentators going out of their way to use performers' proper names at all times. Talents are referred to as superstars far more often than wrestlers. Championships are substituted for title, while generally any sort of insider terminology gets nixed right from the get-go. less said about that whole performance fighter thing, the better. Number 2, dress for success. The age of Ric Flair's styling and profiling fancy dress may seem like a gimmick unique to the Nature Boy, but WWE superstars are actually expected to follow a business casual dress code, even on the road. Male performers are expected to wear suits during public appearances, but are allowed to wear athletic gear when traveling to the next town or at the airport. The company's sponsorship deal with Tap Out makes this latter detail a bit easier for talent who may want to feel at least a little comfortable while on the road. But the WWE dress code is definitely designed to retain the company's prestigious brand reputation at all costs. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, no sneezing. We could have filled our list with all of the reported quirks and idiosyncrasies of one Vincent Kennedy McMahon, but we've narrowed it down to just one head-scratching peculiarity: sneezing. Yes, sneezing.
Why?
That involuntary act that we all do, sometimes uncontrollably, at any given moment.
Yeah.
Therein lies the key word, however: control. McMahon is a notoriously hands-on creator who demands total control at all times. Therefore, rumors have surfaced that the industry icon simply hates sneezing to the point where employees have decided to hold them in if at all possible. Vince reportedly sees it as a sign of weakness, especially if it's himself who happens to be caught in a sneezing fit. What a weird world. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Okay. So, to the big McMahon himself, that sneezing is a sign of weakness. Okay, that's one rule. That's gotta be a big, giant, fucking ridiculous. I never would have thought that things like, so many rules like that are so sensitive and just, yeah, I'm just gonna say it's ridiculous. So, I got no words with that, but other than that, that is probably one thing I would never make it to WWE. If I can make it to the NXT, then that would be a different case. Absolutely. But yeah, I may want to reconsider about the traveling, the gears, the clothing, everything, because I would literally be a headless chicken and be running around until I'm completely flat dead. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say about this. So, I'm going to end this video. So, if you enjoy this, let's leave it a like and leave a comments down below. And with that, Mighty Adventure signing out. But I will catch you all in the next video. So, take care, everyone. But most of all, be safe and have a pleasant evening. So, good night.